In seventh grade, she was pretty much done with me, but I didn't know that yet. So I sent her a white carnation because that meant friendship. And then I sent her another one.
The word that's coming up is like overcompensate. The one carnation was enough to symbolize the friendship. Sending another one really was more about kind of you and not as much about the friend.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to do all these things in order for this person to, but also that may not be true. Like I'm putting that on there.
I'm seeing like a bubble of protection. So this could be like calling in Archangel Michael. So that energy's bounce off of it and don't get absorbed into me.
Not making this up, but I'm like, there's no reason that you're feeling, you just like crafted a story.
This fear is just letting me know, like, I care about this person. How can I soothe this part of myself? Maybe I would send this really long text about all these things about them, and maybe I just scale it back a little bit.
Hi, I'm Sam Franklin, intuitive, healer, and psychotherapist. In this podcast, you'll hear real-life sessions where I open the Akashic Records, connect with angels, offer energy healing, and guide my guests through deep soul transformation. Each session begins by opening the Akashic Records, or the energetic library of the soul, to receive clarity and guidance. Next, I set sacred intentions and invite loving support from the angels, spirit guides, ancestors, and all other spirits who are here for the highest good and healing. Throughout these sessions, I explore soul purpose, soul connections, and soul gifts. I also examine the deeper roots of challenges, including past life lessons and how they shape the present, to help my guests reconnect with their truth and step into the life they're meant for. Whether you're here out of curiosity or on your own healing journey, I invite you to listen with an open heart. You might just hear something your soul has been waiting for. Let's dive in.
All right, so welcome.
What are some gifts and how should I use them? Or how could I use them? Or
Yeah.
that question.
Yeah, let me just kind of take a moment to tune in and see here. What's coming to mind right away is I can see crystals. So I'm just gonna like tune into like how that's related to gifts. What I'm like seeing and also kind of experiencing, if you will, is like holding a crystal and almost like my energy is charging, like supercharging the crystal, but the crystal's also supercharging me. There seems to be like um some type of gift related to stones and crystals and kind of maybe that frequency. Let me just get a little bit more kind of information about that specifically. I'm also seeing the chakras. I just feel like there's potentially a gift there or knowledge around a lot of different crystals and also how they relate to chakras. I don't know if that's something that you've ever like gotten into or you know a lot about.
I don't necessarily know. I have crystals, but I don't necessarily know who they are and what they do.
Yeah, there seems to be just like a really like a natural exchange of energy. Now anyone can hold crystals, right? They can impact us, but there seems to be like the word to supercharge just keeps coming up. That like crystals are maybe something for you to keep in mind of really being helpful to your energy. And so this could be kind of a little bit more related to personal soul purpose and things like that of what could be helpful to you is to identify which crystals help with different chakras. So that almost like getting a crystal related to, as long as they're all kind of related to each chakra, that could be something that you do on a regular basis. Or if you're feeling a little bit out of whack, it might be like, okay, I'm going to reach for this crystal because that seems there's like a real gift there to connect to that energy and it'd be really helpful to you. Let me see if there's other gifts here and things like that. Because it seems like that one was really specific about helping you. Now, if you really wanted to get into that and dive deep, right, you could do that for other people. But sometimes our gifts can really be a little bit more personal.
Mhm.
Let me see if there's other gifts here. Okay, so I'm hearing a ray of sunshine. I'm seeing like this light that's like really vibrant. Um, but there feels like a hesitation, but doubt, I guess, like a little self-doubt. So it's like the pure energy of you is like, I mean, I'm seeing like a classic like emoji of a sun, like full all the rays. It's very vibrant and that really lights up people's day. Um, but sometimes it flickers a little bit because of kind of like the self-doubt or confidence, if you will.
Mhm.
I'm wondering how that lands with you.
Well, you can see by this room, I'm very colorful.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that I am, I mean, I'm a pretty big optimist, and I also say that I'm the cheerleader for everyone because I I love to encourage, as we all know. It's so easy to we don't get we don't get encouraged as often as we get discouraged out of helpfulness. So yeah, that does land pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
and I do have like with myself self-doubt and confidence versus like others, I believe everyone can do everything, and I like maybe help too much. I do tell people I'm their involuntary aggressive life coach sometimes. And I'm like, don't be so helpful. I mean, you can be, but
yeah. And I think like that is kind of like that energy, like it seems like it comes easy for you. It like just to be vibrant and lively and something that maybe you think, well, everyone can do that. Like it actually might just be really more of a gift for you that it doesn't come quite that easily to other
yeah.
people. Um, but it's just like I'm just kind of see how maybe that confidence and doubt and things kind of interact with your vibrancy and also like for yourself too. It's like very helpful to other people. Um, what I'm hearing is like sometimes it feels like you maybe try really hard to like really show up for people when maybe you don't have to try as hard, that vibrancy and that like light is like really great on its own. And that actually like as you build up confidence and like more self-worth and things like that, that light will shine pretty easily without kind of putting in a lot of work. I'm seeing like those like people will sometimes have bikes. It's rare, but like bikes that power their home, like solar power. It's like
Oh,
I mean, I've seen it. Yeah, it's not like very common, but
I
like
know what you're
I've heard
saying.
of those. Yeah. So like or windmill power, but like they're showing me a bike and it powers this person's home and you're pedaling so hard. And kind of the confidence is like you put the bike in a different gear and it's like smooth pedaling. So it doesn't drain you of your battery as much
Hmm.
when you have that built up confidence and self esteem and self worth, that your light will shine. You'll be optimistic and help other people and cheerlead them with much less draining on your battery.
That makes sense. I was literally thinking about that today. Literally the phrase showing up for people, and I was like, then I get a little negative because I'm like, I have friend scarcity, I think, a lot, where I'm like always afraid of losing friends or being forgotten or what. So then that's a lot of that is like I'm showing up, and then I'm like, oh, not that things are like zero sum reciprocal, but I was like, oh, this is so interesting that I'm putting all this work, and I know this person doesn't do that, and I still anyway. Like, so yes.
Yeah, which is really common. People do different things. Some people might show up in that way with the friend scarcity, but like it's really common to feel like a fear of loss or abandonment or forgotten, and people that will show up in different ways for different
Yeah,
people.
totally.
Um, is there any of that you wanted to explore, or was there other
Um,
directions you want to go into?
um, well, we could explore that because that's a pretty real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of tune into friendship stuff and relationships and kind of see what comes through here. I think there's a kind of a choice point. They're saying like we could explore the origins of this. We could explore how it's impacting you now. We can, and then eventually we can also talk about how to like work through that and what that steps would be. Do you have a preference?
We could go to the origins.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's kind of see. Yeah, I don't know if this is true about your childhood, but what I'm gathering, like an image and also just a feeling or a knowing, is that um there's like that kind of cliche idea of like being picked last for like a kickball team or something in gym or something like that. Like that's kind of the vibe of childhood of feeling like I'm picked last for things. Did that show up at all?
Yeah, that kind of occasionally literally, but also very like I had like one good friend when I
Mhm.
was in elementary school, and I know my mom was worried that I didn't have enough friends.
Mhm.
And also that friend as we grew up, like through later elementary, I literally would be like, "Can you go home? This other person's coming over."
Mhm.
And then in junior high, I was reflecting actually on this a few days ago as I think about how I show up overcompensatingly a little. Like in seventh grade, she was pretty much done with me, but I didn't know that yet.
Mhm.
And then Valentine's Day had come around and you could send like carnations. And so I sent her a white carnation because that meant friendship. And then I sent her another one. So that day she got two carnations and never even like not that I needed a thank you, but I was like, oh wow, you and I was just thinking of it recently. I'm like, oh wow, I just think I just tend to like I don't know if the word is overcare. I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm. The word that's coming up is like overcompensate. Right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, what I'm hearing is like the one carnation was enough to symbolize the friendship and what it meant to you. And
Yeah.
like the two sending another one really was more about kind of you and not as much about how the friend might think of you or anything like
Probably.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but it makes sense, like given the
Yeah.
history, like
Yeah.
the friend scarcity, like that word you keep
Yeah.
using, right?
It was
Like,
just interesting because like by that time my that friend was pretty much done with me and I'm still believing it's going, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, I'm seeing like rose-colored glasses. This idea of like sometimes the optimism is like, I want to hold on to hope because if this is
Yeah.
something that I want, and sometimes it's really hard to face that reality because it can be painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just tune in a little bit more to kind of see anything else about origins. Sometimes angels really like to just be like really validating and like normalizing of like, well, of course, this is something that you're struggling with now, given the past, and like really wasn't anything that you did wrong. Uh,
Hmm.
it just felt like you were someone who was, again, very vibrant and like your own person. And kids really try to be conforming and like everyone else. And that
Yeah.
was something that um, you just couldn't do. But it wasn't a bad thing, right? It's great to be able to be ourselves, but when you're a kid,
Yeah.
sometimes it works against you. Oftentimes it does,
Yeah.
right?
It's true.
And like all the messaging that you got of like, well, there's something wrong with me because of how this is playing out. And it's
Yeah.
really like there was nothing wrong with you. Like beautiful soul, even as a child.
Yeah.
But kids didn't know what to do with that. And that led to that a lot of that pain.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, what else? What else? Um, I'm trying to read my lines, not my lines. Are there any past patterns? These are all from your wonderful question,
Yeah.
question helpful list.
Yeah. Any patterns? Sorry, what was the question?
Like it was something about past patterns.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to look at patterns in this life or patterns in the past life?
Um, let's look at the past.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if there's any stuff from the past that might be carrying over to this
Oh
life.
yeah. Yeah.
I see a past life where there was just a lot of freedom, a lot of joy, very similar energy, just kind of like a free spirit in a way of like kind of dancing through the fields is what I see. And what is it, Snow White? That's like in the forest with the animals and stuff like that kind of vibe. Um, and it's like when I'm in the forest, when I'm in the field, when I'm around these animals, like the feeling is just like this is my home. This is where I belong. This feels great. Um, but then, but people don't quite understand me. They're bringing up, I don't know why they're focusing on Disney. Do you like a lot of Disney stuff or anything? Okay.
Barely.
Because sometimes they like stick with something particular because of the person, somehow it'll make sense. Um, yeah, so they're bringing up Belle from Beauty and the Beast and this sense of like people are like she's weird. We don't understand her. Like the opening scene, right? She's
Yeah, I know.
book
Yep.
going around. It was like that kind of vibe from that past life of like the townspeople, not really kind of understanding. But the animals really understanding and the land really understanding, and that felt really like home. And that feels like that has carried over of like a real connection to animals and kind of feeling at home there. Um, but feeling like I don't know if people quite understand me, and that feels kind of painful.
Hmm.
There's like a little loneliness and um, almost like I don't know if this is true, almost like I'd rather kind of hang out with animals sometimes than humans because they feel
Almost
nicer and
always.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
animals can be
yeah.
like our best friends.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm hearing like don't get discouraged. It's really just about the angels and guides are really focusing on the fact that like we don't need like a plethora is the word they're using, but a lot of friends. We
Hmm.
just need a
Yeah.
few that are like they get us,
Yeah.
they accept us, and we
It's
don't have to try. We get
yeah.
just to be ourselves, and that like feels really good.
Yeah. I think what I struggle with is, and I think we talked about this in my reading 2 weekends ago, of like being able to know what people want. And then I do those things because I can tell what they want or how they respond best. And then I feel like I'm not being true to myself, but I know it's exactly how they like to be either communicated with or treated or spoken to. And that feels much like riding that bike. Because I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I have to do all these things in order for this person to, but also that may not be true. Like I'm putting that on there.
yeah. The word mental gymnastics is coming up. Like it's just really draining,
Yeah.
and there's a they're named that's part of a gift of like they're naming like clairsentience, so like being an empath, being able to pick up on things.
Hmm.
um but people who tend to be more clairsentient and empaths and pick up on energies and kind of can read the room really well, they really struggle, right, with taking care of themselves and putting themselves first. And
Hmm.
the merging of energies can happen. So we can
Yeah.
easily merge with other people, and then we kind of lose our sense of self and we get caught up in like their emotions and what they want. And we can easily get taken advantage of. Oftentimes because this gift is just, it comes so easily. Like
Yeah.
we don't, again, have to think about it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm saying like getting kind of swooped up or like caught up
Oh,
in
yeah.
that like
Yeah.
current, basically. Um,
Yeah.
Let me just see what they would might have to say about maybe how to manage that a little bit.
Cool.
Um, a couple of things. One, I'm seeing like a bubble of protection. So this could be like calling in Archangel Michael and say, hey, can you wrap me in a energetic bubble that maybe looks like a sphere or an egg shape or some type of force field, could be clear, whatever it is, so that energies bounce off of it and don't get absorbed into me, so that I can keep a separation between myself and other people. That's the other big piece of like, as you get more rooted in who you are and what's important to you and what you want and how you're feeling, then it gets easier to separate of like, oh, this is my feeling and that's their feeling.
Yeah.
They want that, but I don't want that. Because right now, sometimes it feels like it starts to get confusing. Like as you start to be around people, then you're like, is that my feeling? Am I feeling that way? Do I want that? And
Yeah.
the separations, it's really hard to separate that out.
Yes. That is, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. All right. Um, what other questions do I have? Okay. My cat is underneath this little table right now. And he's
Yeah, just listening,
yep, he's
tuning
having
into
a
the
great
energies.
time. Yeah, he's per monster. You probably can't hear it, but he's very loud. Okay,
Mhm.
what are these things? Okay. Um, um, oh, what was one of them? Oh, I have a second page. This is riveting. Oh, do my guides or anything have any messages that are helpful for me right now or
Yeah, let me see what they got. I think they have a few different ones because they're just kind of showing me like three doors and decide like one, two, three. So let's see. Let's go to door number one, if you will, and see what they want to focus on first. So it's all about self-love is really what it is. They want to really show me um, how they see you kind of from a divine light. And so
Mhm.
I'm just going to kind of channel that and then like kind of describe the things that are coming through of like how they really see you in like a pure way. your like soul unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's just like so much light, very much kind of reminding you that like you're this kind of divine being, like we all are kind of source energy or spirit, or
Mm-hmm.
um I'm just gonna ask them to kind of strip away all of the stuff from this life, like pain points and struggles, and just kind of show me without all of that, what that would look like, what that would be like. Okay, so what they're showing me is like basically walking through the streets of a town and just being like really bright and cheery and like handing out like a flower and saying a nice thing here. And people's day just like brightens up, but it's not an effort. Again, we kind of go back to like, it's not a trying thing. It's just like you're in a really amazing energy. It feels so good. It feels like it really is like sunshine. It's just how it feels. And it feels great. So cheery. And just like spread and cheer wherever you go, almost like like Santa Claus. Like, um, and kind of just being able to like touch people in these different ways. Um, and there's like a confidence, but it's such a quiet confidence. And there's kind of like a song and dance aspect to it. So like singing and a little dancing, like dancing in the rain kind of vibe type of thing. And it's like when you really own that energy, what I'm seeing is like people pay attention to how you make them feel and the joy that you bring. And they're not so concerned about how you're showing up in terms of like when you're self-conscious, like, am I showing up in a weird way? What are they going to think of me? Is this going to be odd? Are they going to accept me? It's almost like people don't care about that. They're just like, wow, this is great energy. And I love how this is coming across.
Cool. Okay.
How does that sound to you? That kind of
Um,
description?
yeah, I mean, that kind of resonates. I mean, quite a bit. Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. Cool.
So part of self-love development for you, what I'm hearing is to sit in your own joyful energy.
Hmm.
Um, and in concrete ways, what that could look like is what do you say to other people? Like, what would you text them? What would you say to them? And like, write that down to yourself. I like post-it notes places, like
Hmm.
encouraging, like be your own cheerleader, like you said, your own
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
You write down like you're gonna have a great day today, or like keep going, you got it, or even
Hmm.
if it's tough, you got it. Like whatever those things that you would say it to
Yeah.
yourself. Um, what I'm hearing is like touch points. So like in the morning, like what is that touch point of like how can I give myself some love? Is it a statement? Is it an affirmation? Is it um maybe just like sitting in the love that I feel like when I'm with my animals, like that kind of I just feel the love from them and I kind of am in that loving place and I'm not trying, to do anything to spread any love, I'm just in it. It could be like having like a nice cup of coffee or tea or a warm blanket. These little ways that you can nurture yourself. So again, think about how you would do that for other people and then little things that you can do for yourself. They don't have to be super big.
Cool. Great. Yes. Thank you.
Let's see what other things that your guides want to bring up today. Mhm. They're showing me someone soaring and flying, like an eagle flying. Um, I think it's more about perspective. And there's something they're saying, like, what are you not seeing? There's something about like kind of spreading out and like looking at the larger picture of life. And it kind of about your relationships a little bit. Like sometimes when you focus in and like the fear really gets to you, your vision narrows. And like,
Hmm.
is there a way to step out and think about what is this person? How do I know that this relationship is okay? When I look at the bigger picture of this relationship, does it feel like we're good? In this moment, I might be afraid that they're going to leave, but if I take a step back and look at all the pieces,
Hmm.
maybe it's okay. kind of showing me
Okay.
like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Like when I look at all the pieces, what does that tell me about the relationship and how secure it is versus like this little moment in
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah.
It almost feels like sometimes when you're focusing in on it, you're focusing on the part where the puzzle pieces are missing. And it's like, oh no. And then you look back, it's like there are so many other pieces here.
Yeah.
Basically, so many pieces of the relationship, so many other things that you bring, so many things that they bring, so many beautiful things about the relationship. And this one moment in time is just a snapshot.
Yeah. That's helpful. Yes. Yeah. And I think I do that sometimes on my own because I'm like, oh, they also know they're just got married or whatever. And I know that I sometimes disappear or like, delayed response to things. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So it feels like it's about kind of how do I stay secure in the relationship when there's not a direct touch point or contact
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Can
That.
is there a text that I want to save where someone said something really nice about me? One, just to remind myself, like, how great I am, or that I'm a good person or whatever it is that we want to remind ourselves about.
Mhm.
But also, like, okay, this person really does care about me. Or
Yeah.
maybe there's a gift that they gave you that you keep somewhere that you is a reminder of like this relationship is meaningful to both of us. So
Yeah.
these things that we can go back to when we're feeling that anxiety of like, is this relationship okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like right now it's just one particular friendship and then I look and I'm like, I'm making, not making this up, but I'm like, there's no reason that you're feeling this. You just like crafted a story.
Yeah, but what they're
There
bringing
is
you
a
back.
little bit of reason, but I'm also like, they have a lot going on. Like, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, they're showing me that like relationships where I can ebb and flow like tides. Like sometimes
Yeah.
we're like close, sometimes things go on and we, can be distant a little bit, but we can come back together. But what they're tying it back to is that situation in you said junior high with that friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that like that's a lot of the fear is coming from of like, what if one day it's over and I missed it and I didn't get the lead up to that and that what's happening really does mean that so that kind of younger version of yourself is coming up and so what the angels and guides are recommending is if you can get in touch with that specific age of yourself
Mhm.
and kind of talk to that version of yourself and say like I know you're scared like it would be really sad to lose this person and you really care about this person and whatever your younger self maybe would have needed back then probably needs
Mhm.
right now. And so if it feels helpful getting a picture of that version of yourself to connect more, you could write to that version, you could talk out loud or in your mind, but that version of yourself is the one that's getting activated and
Okay.
they just
That
need a
makes
little
sense.
bit more love.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
That 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 makes sense. Makes
We all
sense.
have that stuff. We
I
all have
know.
versions of ourselves that like they come up at different ages
Yeah.
and they're like front and center, need our attention,
Yeah.
maybe having a temper tantrum, feeling sad, feeling scared, lonely, shame, all the things.
Yeah. Yes, that makes sense. And yes. Yep. And this particular friend, I'm like, you have been friends with this person for like 20 years now, or almost 20 years. So it's like,
Yeah. But it
yeah,
also
yeah,
shows like how much the relationship matters, right?
yeah,
I think of um when we love someone so much, whatever the relationship is, it's like sometimes, and these are the angels and guides are showing me, like the fear can be like equally matched in moments.
yeah,
It's like the really big fear that we're feeling of like, I'm going to lose this person, like something's going to
yeah,
happen to them, or we're not going to be in a relationship anymore, kind of equals the love. But sometimes we focus so much on the fear and so kind of shifting that of like when the fear comes up, it's like, okay, this fear is just letting me know like I care about this person.
yeah. That's a nice reframe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I soothe this part of myself? Because when we act out of fear, then we do the things that tend to hurt us and other people, and we don't show up in our best light.
Mm.
Um, and it can actually kind of work in the opposite direction. It might
Mhm.
actually drive the relationship away, but very common.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do they have any other lessons?
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, because there's like one more.
The three doors.
Yeah. This one feels about seeing a dog. So this feels really related to like pets and animals.
Love it.
and that this is a way to experience unconditional love, something that maybe you haven't experienced as much of or has been harder to, like, for yourself and
Mhm.
towards other people and from other people. Animals and pets are really, really great, especially dogs, kind of almost what I'm hearing, like their purpose a lot on earth is like for that unconditional love.
Mhm.
Excited to see you when you come home, like always happy and joyful. And um, probably when you're not feeling well, they, dogs can sense that and they like are maybe extra like nurturing and checking up on you. That is a really pure love that we can start to heal some of our
Mhm.
wounds around love with animals and allow ourselves to be loved from them and
Mhm.
know what that feels like. And so just paying extra attention when you're with your animals and you're really loving on you, whether your cat's purring or your dog's, really excited. What does that experience feel like? And really like soak it in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're my favorite. Fall in love with them more each day, I tell them. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And they probably fall more in love with you
yeah,
every day.
we're all buds.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
The angels and guides are bringing up a question of like, do you ever have fear and anxiety around that relationship of like losing them or something happening?
I mean, I've lost pets before. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, yes. And I
But
mean, they're both pretty young.
yeah, but not in the same way as friendships, right? It's like when they're
Yeah. Yeah. Like, well, I know, yeah, I know they aren't going to decide they don't like me one day.
yeah. So what's the difference? I think they're being a little playful here. They want to kind of
Okay.
challenge you. So
Yeah.
like when you
Yeah.
really break it down, and I've never thought about this, so we'll explore it together. But like, what's the difference? What's the
Yeah.
security there in the animals that is different than
Yeah.
friendships?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know that I'm like their caregiver, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I raised them both from a puppy and kitten. So, like, I feel like that's a kind of more involved relationship than like, peers and friendships.
Yeah. So I think that's your answer, I think is really they're shining a light on it, literally in my mind of showing like that's maybe why you show up as a caregiver to your friends. There's just maybe this belief system that you have of if I take care of someone or an animal, it won't leave and we'll be in a relationship forever. And that it's really hard to take a step back and be equals
Yeah.
because then the person might leave and that feels really scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
They have any guidance around that anymore?
Yeah, they would say like, can you take little baby steps back? So when you want to overly caretake someone, can you just pull back a little bit? So maybe it's not a huge thing. Maybe it's like, I want to make a meal for someone and I would make a 3-course meal. Maybe I just make a 1-course meal, like, and that's
Yeah.
just an example, but just small ways that you can just pull back just a little bit. Maybe I would send this really long text about all these things about them, and maybe I just scale it back a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe I would call them and it's only been a couple days. Maybe I wait another day, and not to like play games or to really get into the semantics or of it.
Hmm.
But just see what that's like. If I pull back a little bit, like, are we still okay? Is this relationship
Yeah.
okay? Are they still around? And that will kind of almost in a way like test things
Hmm.
and just kind of expose yourself to not being fully in a caregiver role to that extent.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. That's helpful. More equals.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's
again, it comes back to the soothing the younger self.
yeah.
So when you pull back or when you're like, I would do this, but I'm actually going to say no this time, or I'm not going to do the thing, when that dysregulation starts to come up, which it probably will, the anxiety and the fear, what can I do to soothe myself versus what am I going to do to caretake them to soothe myself, right? Because sometimes the caretaking is really
Yeah.
about the self-soothing. So maybe thinking about
Feel
what
like
do I
they
need
can't
in
be
this
mad at me
moment?
if I've done all this for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And so maybe it's like maybe I love up on my animals a little bit more, or I do something extra nourishing for myself
Yeah.
just to regulate.
Thank you. Yes, that's helpful.
Mhm. Any last minute questions?
Um, any fun facts? This is what I asked last time.
Yeah, let's see about any fun facts.
Fun whatevers. I don't know.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're bringing, I hear Johnny Appleseed, so I'm just gonna explore what that means.
Yeah, go for it.
And seeing someone bite into an apple, so this is their, I don't know where they're taking me. I think some of it is about like childhood stories and childhood books. Um, I think it's a way where like your inner child can actually be very playful and that can come out, and that's really like a gift and a strength of yours because people can really struggle with really letting their inner child out and like being playful.
Yeah.
Um, but that sometimes your inner child needs like a little more play and a little less like caretaking others. And almost like, and it might not literally be reading a children's book. I mean, that's what they're showing me, but it could be like, what is that childlike thing that you want to do? Um, well, interesting. What they're bringing up is like potentially being a caregiver for others growing up. I don't know if it was like an adult figure or maybe someone that you might have emotionally taken care of, or is there any of that in your past?
Not directly.
Mhm.
Um, maybe like subconsciously, but
Mhm.
nothing like my mother lost my dad when I was 2, and so she raised my brother and I on her own. So, but like what I'm saying is like not aware that it might be happening, but like I'm sure part of her grief and emotion
Yeah.
became loving us or like, holding on to the things she still had.
Yeah. So sometimes when in single parent households, sometimes there's a little bit more of an imbalance to kind of stabilize the household of like kids can sometimes act as a pseudo parent or a pseudo partner, or um, especially if a parent's going through grief, sometimes it's their natural expression of grief. Kids can pick up on that and they like want their parent to feel better. So they might go and do something like make them a meal in a kid form or, color a picture and bring it to them in a way to be like, I just want my parent to feel happy. And so sometimes that can get kids into caretaker roles. So
Yeah.
what they're showing me about the kids book and things like that is there feels like maybe there was parts of your childhood that you weren't able to fully be a kid all the time, that you might have had to grow up a little bit too fast in some ways.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it's about um, what would be those things that you did or you wanted to do, but you couldn't.
Mhm.
Um, like they're showing me, I don't know, remember like the skippets where it was like attached to your ankle and like it went around and you like something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Jumping rope, rollerblading, I mean, don't hurt yourself, I feel like at our age to do these things. Like they might not be
Yeah.
great, but
Yeah.
like
No. Yeah.
what would be
Yeah.
those things? I'm gonna tune into if there's anything else because that didn't seem like a fun fact. That just seemed like a
It's
fact.
helpful.
Yeah. Let's see if there's any other like fun facts. Um, well, they're bringing up still like these childlike toys, like how many bubbles can you blow? Almost like what's a fun fact that you can create for yourself? They're
Yeah.
bringing up the skip it thing again. How many times can it go around?
Yeah.
Um, so ways that you can kind of bring more fun into your own life. And also hearing like that you can have fun facts about yourself. So when you're in a group setting and someone's like, what's your fun fact about you? Really feeling like I could maybe do something silly and I would be comfortable with that. I feel
Yeah.
confident about that. I
Mhm.
would maybe worry that someone's
Already.
going to judge
But
me.
yeah.
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 Yeah. And
A lot of Christmas trees and and it's
mhm.
a lot. And I don't shy about that at all.
Yeah. So these
But
are ways where you can really start to own yourself is what I'm hearing with like the fun facts. You get to show like little parts of yourself to people.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good.
Well, let's see if there's any last messages before we wrap up.
Okay.
Nope, they're showing me a thing that's like tying a bow. They're like,
Love it.
yeah. So let me close up your records, cut cords, and all that kind of stuff. So have yeah, close the records. Looks like a book closing in my mind. I'll have Archangel Michael come in and cut the energy cords lovingly between us and separate our energies. And I'll have Archangel Michael wrap you in a bubble of healing and light, love, and protection. And have him tell me a color. Okay, blue and green. The blue is a little bit stronger. So these are connected to chakras, just how they show it to me, what it means to me. Really, I heard like use your voice. So kind of about saying no, setting boundaries. Really, I'm hearing like letting your weirdness hang out, like don't tuck it in, like really let it out. We all have our weirdness, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And really letting that shine, because that is such a beautiful part of your essence, is like these parts of you, right? So, and I know they can be hard to own sometimes, but really letting that out. And the green is really the heart chakra. So again, like part of your gifts and your strength is like you are so open-hearted, and so loving, and it's about giving love to yourself.
Got it.
Really
Yes.
going back to that self-love,
Yes.
because you deserve it just as much as everyone else. All the people that you want to love on so much, think about how much you love them. That's the love that you deserve. And then some, so much love.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for being here. If this conversation spoke to your soul, go ahead and like it, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to stay connected to more soul-led journeys. Your truth is sacred, your path matters, and you don't have to walk it alone. Until next time, be gentle with yourself.